Good afternoon. This is Media Center, Ukraine, Odesa. We are starting our last working day this week. We are starting it with the briefing dedicated to the cultural event that will take place in Odesa at 1700. Naming No Man is an Island. We're having with us Myroslava Hanyushkina, director of the ArtPole Agency, and Olga Mykhailiuk, author of the idea of the project Nobody is an Island and its visualization. Myroslava, the floor is yours. What Odessa residents will be able to see just in 2 days. Thank you. But first, I would like to describe our activities in Odessa. This is not our first time. And in 2014, we had the event that was the festival, including documentary films, discussions, and it was named ArtPole about Crimea, because we planned to have that festival in Crimea, but in 2014 it was impossible. Why I'm starting with this? Because No Man is an Island started from Crimea. There were 3 points, Crimean, Mariupol, and Odessa. And Odessa will be able to see what we did not include it in our December tour in Kiev, Wrocław, and Warsaw, namely the welcoming words of the Polish musicians and that will perform together with Olga Mykhailiuk and others. But Olga will be able to provide more information about the project because she is mentally closer related to this project. Good afternoon. This is quite difficult to be true, and I'm not sure that I should tell you about the project now. I think it is more important to invite people to attend this performance. And there will be a lot of improvisations, and we will have duduk, clarinet, and perhaps sax. We will have a lot of there will be a lot of footages from Kherson Oblast, from Mariupol, from Odessa. And today I'm going to shoot these videos here in Odessa. This will be audio visual improvisation and kind of voyage, a trip along our coastlines. And for people to better understand where we invite them together. This will be the concert accompanied by video art. Yes, you can describe it like this, because some parts have more music, other parts have more video, but in any case, you will see some videos, and they will be an online concert. The event will take place at 1700 on December 25, and that will be in the More Music Club. I do not know, have you already renamed the Pushkinskaya Street in Odessa? If not, then this is Pushkinskaya Street, More Music Club. Can you provide us more details about Nobody is an Island? This is the quote from John Donne. What is meant by island? Is it Odessa or Crimea? So actually, we thought about Crimea. This is a peninsula, not an island, and we are connected with Crimea. A lot of our projects have been dedicated to this topic since 2014. This is the annexed territory, and we need to return it. We need to preserve our connections with the territory, and we have to reflect upon this. Otherwise, it will be impossible. Nobody is an island, because everyone is connected with others. And with this project, we wanted to talk about this. And last year, we spent summer and autumn in Kherson Oblast, because the idea of the first part of the project is to be as close as possible to the peninsula. That was the territory of Kherson Oblast, the village of Horly. And I wanted to dive into these patterns with the Rolling Stones, with the Black Sea, and to work with this visually. And now I know that waves and plants are different in every city and in every town. We shot there videos about closeness, but about impossibility to be together, to touch each other. And this year, we plan to expand our project to involve more musicians. Suren Voskonyan from Mariupol was the musician whom we worked with during the first part of the project, but then there was the full-scale invasion and it scattered the musicians. Suren was in the basement in Mariupol, we were in the volunteer headquarters in Kyiv, etc. And the first 6 months after the invasion, we could not gather to continue our creative path and artistic path. And 2 weeks ago, we met in Kyiv, and we were able to rehearse despite outages, despite lack of heating. But we had our instruments, duduk and clarinet, and I hope that you will be able to see and hear them on Sunday, and actually that was taken by Suren from Mariupol. And this time we wanted to show Kherson, Mariupol parts and to provide, to have live performance. Unfortunately, we don't have Suren with us today because he's not in Odesa now. Can you tell briefly about how he was able to escape Mariupol after staying in the basement under shelling? I know more about the sound because that is what we discussed with him, about the perception of sounds, time, and the changes of perception after staying in the basement. We were in contact with him. And we were able to hear from him from one of the Greece villages not far from Mariupol, if I'm not mistaken, that was Yalta, and we were happy to restore a connection with him. But then there was one more episode, quite worrisome, because there was no connection with him, and that was the time when he was undergoing filtration to get to Berdyansk. And we learn about this from different interviews, and this case was not an exclusion. But perhaps, we should speak about the fact that while he was in the basement in Mariupol, he created lullaby, and perhaps that was the only piece that he played there, and Suren will perform it here in Odessa. The fact that he was able to take his instrument with him is also remarkable, but the duduk is quite small instrument, and perhaps that was why he managed to do this. Suren will join us on Sunday, just before the performance, and we will be able to work with him the whole day before the performance, and then we will spend with him a few more days in Odessa to record the material for our Polish colleagues, to make this Odessa part as comprehensive as other parts. And Suren also invited his friends from Mariupol to the performance on Sunday. And his friends, they moved to Odessa, and they know that Odessa is not that calm now, but he decided to stay here because he couldn't go far from the sea, and now we are talking about the patterns which are inside each of us. When you mention patterns, there is one clarification. Of course, you understand that you improvise during your performances, but am I right in understanding that this is the first time you're going to perform this, or Odessa is one of the cities on your path? And now our composition includes 3 parts. The first one is Kherson Oblast. The second one is Mariupol, that we have just finished working on in Kyiv. And the third part, which is quite unexpected to us, and it is quite powerful, that was just a week ago in Warsaw. The Polish musicians have joined the project, and we were in Warsaw a week ago. And we have Tomasz Sikora, Rafael Roginski, and Oleksiy Vorsoba, who is from Belarus, but now he can be also considered as the Polish musician. They are from Portman Trio, and they know Odessa well. And we said to them that our next city would be Odessa. And it generated a quite interesting piece of music. That's like a musical play. And before that, 2 parts were based on videos. But now, on the contrary, now I have music I'm going to listen to shoot video in Odessa. So there will be 2 parts that have been already shown in other cities, and the new one that will be presented in Odessa, which will be related to Odessa. And I have a question to you. Several cities, the sea cities, are now united. But you've mentioned patterns, and the patterns are different because I visited all 3 cities, and the patterns in the cities are different. Can you tell us about your impressions? Not how you convey them through the performance, but perhaps other impressions and the differences of your impressions of these 3 cities in Ukraine. Mariupol is an industrial city, and the taste of sea was metallurgical because of the Azovstal and other metallurgical plants. And the color is different. We once, for 1 month, we visited several seas. The bluest one was the Black Sea. The Azov Sea can be very calm, or it can be in turmoil because of this shell, and you can always speak about the metal color, about metal taste. And Suren is from Mariupol, and this is very important. For him, Mariupol is very green. He speaks about this as about tropical city, and that's why it was interesting for me to learn his perception of the city. Yes, the colors are different, plants are different. I was impressed by the Kherson Oblast last year. That was the discovery for me of the huge steppe. I have never seen so many sky because I was born in Kyiv, and for me, I had 2 places, Crimea and the Carpathian Mountains, which were very mysterious and important places for me. I love Odessa, and I visited Odessa for perhaps thousands times. But the Kherson Oblast was a discovery for me. All these smells, these endless steppes, rolling stones. And I wanted to shoot this at the beginning of winter. This roll the field, and they have really strange plants without roots. Sometimes actually we can see that this is not a metaphor, that there is really the roll the field there. And these are the visual patterns that we mean now. And the arrival from Mariupol means strain for us, and we always think about the peaceful Azov style and this metallic color of the sky and the sea, and then the return to this place. And the Kherson Oblast with the Rolling Stone, with Tumbleweed, and Odessa, which all the time is different. But we last time we were here a year ago, and yesterday when we worked around the dark Odessa, we had to recall everything, because you can try to guess what you see by contours, but actually Kiev is in the same condition now. Do we have any questions? No? Then thank you a lot. Thank you for coming to us today. And we have like 20 more seconds. The next briefing will be in 30 minutes. It will be dedicated to the DocuDays documentary festival in Odessa Oblast. So stay with us, and please come to More Music Club on Sunday to see and to listen to this audio-visual trip, Nobody's an Island. Thank you. So we are waiting for you. Thank you.